I'm someone who hates, loathes, and despises Western neo liberalism and neoconservatism and all of the attendant ideologies. And as such, I'm I went into seeing the movie The Wizard of the Kremlin with the idea that it was going to show I was going to see basically essentially Russophobic propaganda, the same kind that we hear constantly from official sources in the West. That was what we were going to essentially get in this movie about the rise of Putin, and and so I was rather surprised to see that a lot of the negative responses to this movie, which by the way stars Paul Dano, he plays this sort of composite character who essentially is an aide to Putin. He is portrayed as somebody. We see him beginning as a young man in the 1990s, and during the quote democracy period, the Yeltsin era of Russia, where things were just wild and crazy, and there was this kind of lawless capitalism afoot, and you know various people were coming going to Moscow and amassing a fortune and becoming these sort of robber baron oligarchs. And at first, the character played by Dano is very he's very much a part of this whole culture, and enjoys it. But over time, starts to see, as others do, that things need to change in Russia. Russia needs to gain its dignity back, and there needs to be someone who will lead Russia out of the current degraded state that it was in, the post Cold War state that it had been in after losing the Cold War, essentially. Although pointedly, Putin's character in the movie denies that Russia ever lost the Cold War. Uh, but that's another issue. But anyway, Dano's character, along with the help of another better placed oligarch, somebody within the the Russian television media, uh, hit upon the idea of selecting this guy called Vladimir Putin, and he's portrayed in the movie as some mid-level, uh, former KGB. Although they never use the term KGB. They just talk about the FSB. Um, uh, as this mid level kind of enforcer, and that somebody who's not really interested in playing the politics game, and not really terribly charismatic, uh, kind of a humorless, just enforcer guy, um, and they pluck him out and say you'd be perfect to become the new ruler of Russia in the post Yeltsin era, because we need somebody who's not a buffoon like Yeltsin. We need somebody who's going to bring dignity back to Russia again. And the idea is that he will Putin will do this. Will manage to do this while they the Paul Dano character and other oligarchs of the new Russia will manage him and see and make sure he doesn't get out of line and become a dictator and continue the age of robber baron democracy, but well, no, but be able to manage it more, to be able to to control the chaos that had reigned for so long. And the way that it's portrayed in the movie, Putin is smarter and craftier than these people would have imagined. And Dano sees this and strategically decides to become Putin's ally, and and you know and and so he backs him as he rises to power and becomes this Machiavellian figure who, in one way or another, disposes of his enemies and sees to it that he rules Russia with an iron fist again. He uses the war in Chechnya, the war against radical Islam, as the means of establishing this control, and so it goes on from there. It's an interesting movie. I thought it was well made, and I didn't see overt propaganda until near the close of the movie. And we do near the the movie's end, we do come across this whole idea of the quote Russian disinformation campaign, and Dano's character supposedly is managing or helping to control this disinfo campaign, which is directed against the West, and is through one means or another, attempting to take advantage of cynicism amongst the many people in the West, both of the right and both the right wing and left wing kind, and to steer them to certain positions, or to get them riled up against particular figures within their own countries, to have them to have the West at its own throat, and in so doing, ensure Russia's dominance in the future, or in any case, its resurgence, and as a world power. So there are a few scenes, involving get the Russian disinfo campaign, and those were the more. If there was anything that was particularly egregious in the movie, or that came close to being egregious, it was those scenes. But they that there it wasn't there wasn't that much of it, and what there was of it, we didn't see it in intensely detailed form. There was nothing suggesting anything regarding Trump being a part of this whole Russian disinfo campaign, which is what the neoliberal line is in the West, of course, that Putin wanted Trump to win and saw to it, somehow schemed his way into, like, that the whole Russian disinfo uh, contingent is so insidious and so well ensconced uh, within within the West, through sneaky, means, which is kind of hilarious considering there is a foreign country that is thoroughly ensconced within the West and getting its way, very good at getting its way and so forth and so on. But it ain't Russia. Uh, but the movie, kind of pushes that whole notion of Russian Russian disinfo having been uh, indirectly arranged by the Kremlin, with Dano, this composite character played by Paul Dano, being the one who's behind it all. So I went into this movie thinking this is going to be fun. This is going to be a movie that's going to be encouraging me to hate these people. And I don't, it's not that uh, it's not that I have a dog in this fight, except for the fact that I think that uh, the entire Western establishment is is evil, and that neoliberal, neoconservative foreign policy uh, and the attempted demonization of other regimes, is suits the cynical aims or schemes of you know contingents within the CIA, within the West, like the CIA and MI6 and Mossad and the U.S. State Department and all these entities, all these bodies that I think are just I was going to say full of shit, but it's worse than that. I think they're actively evil, and I think their influence on the world needs to be severely tempered, and that's why when someone like me sees a person like Putin or a regime like Putin's in Russia, and feels inclined to be sympathetic, it's not because I want to whitewash any of the any of his crimes, which I'm sure that his hands are far from clean. Um, but it's just that if we actually lived in a world where everything was dominated by the forces that today rule the West, uh, it would not be the end of history in a Francis Fukuyama kind of way. It would not be the realization of this dream of the establishment of freedom, but uh, rather it would represent a triumph of evil. Now, so that's my perspective. That's my bias, if you want to call it that, going into the movie. But I expected to just kind of root for the bad guys, and root for the people the movie wants me to hate. Um, and I basically enjoyed the movie. It's a well made film, and I'm interested in the book now. The movie does not claim to be actual history. It's a fictionalized version of what it claims happened with the rise of Putin in Russia. Um, what surprises me now is, after I got through seeing the movie, I was looking around to see what people were saying about it, what the usual suspects were saying about the movie, and it seems that there is this uh, uh, large contingent that is very down on the movie because they think that it actually serves the interest of Putin's Russia. And I was fascinated to see this. It was wild to come across this because I don't think you can watch the movie and think that it's a pro Putin movie. Couldn't possibly do that. Um, I mean, I was rooting for Putin. I was rooting for Dano, but just in a root for the bad guys kind of way. Just in a you know, as I have explained, because I know this, or I understood this movie to be a piece of Western neoliberal propaganda. Uh, and But it seems that there are critics of the film who are ardent Western neoliberal globalist types who say that I don't even I can't I'm not even sure uh, what the critique is. It's been hard for me to really get a grasp on it, but it seems it, that they claim that the movie humanizes Putin. I don't know what they mean by humanizing him. I don't know why it's bad to humanize somebody who's human. First of all, um, so we have to see him as a cartoon, or as a cardboard cutout of just like a plaster uh, anti saint. Just like a uh, or like somehow this idea of humanizing him is bad, but I don't. You watch the movie and Putin comes across as not 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 really all that quote unquote human. I mean, he's this. We don't see him like as a family man at all. We don't see him, uh, in any ever in any kind of context that suggests warmth. Uh, we just see him as a cold, brutal, calculating, uh, conniving sort of person, and he's very well played by Jude Law. But I have to say, both Jude Law and Paul Dano are barely recognizable. Um, they've both got this. It's not just makeup. What do you call it when you slap on when they put stuff in on your face that makes your face look different? Like they've done things to Jude Law's face where you can only barely recognize that it is Jude Law. Uh, where they try to make his face more closely resemble the face of Vladimir Putin. Um, and I'm pretty sure that Dano, unless he put on like 80 pounds or so for the part, is probably wearing a fat suit because he's somewhat portly in the movie. Um, so those are my thoughts on The Wizard of the Kremlin. Have you seen it? What do y'all think?